name's Lucia Ferrara, and I'm here from the Precious Blood Renewal Center in Liberty. And it's a beautiful spring day. We're getting a little bit of rain, and we can see the green coming up. So just wonderful, wonderful, bright, vibrant colors of spring that I'm so excited about. So, and with that being said, today we're going to make a vibrant, springy, very nutritious type of soup, and it's called Cannellini and Kale Soup. There's different variations all over. People call it pasta fagioli, people call it bean and kale, they call it, I mean, there's just vegetable, I mean, there's just a lot. You could call it anything you like, but I call it very good, and I call it the Cannellini and Kale Soup. So what we're going to do today, before we start cooking and putting all these beautiful ingredients together, I'm going to tell you what you're going to need to use and prep. So I've cut one Vidalia onion, medium to large size Vidalia onion. I just like the taste of that when it's in the soup. So I use that, and I cut that up and diced it. I have here, I diced up about, I love garlic, and garlic's good for you. So I diced up about 3 or 4 cloves of garlic. And then here we've got about a half a cup of chopped parsley, fresh Italian. I like the Italian parsley. So I chopped that up. And then I got 2 carrots. No, actually these are about 3 carrots. And I like to use these traditional carrots here, and I just clean them, wash them, and chop them up. So you can chop them up however way you want them. Some people like them diced, some people like them round. It's whatever you want to do. And then I cut a couple of stalks of fresh celery. So I think this one in particularly, I used 3 stalks of celery. And here we've got the cannellini beans. I've got about 2.5 to 3 cups here. So you can, if you're using dried beans, you want to soak them in a bowl of water overnight. So this way they can get rehydrated. So these, I used can here. So I used 2 cans, 15-ounce cans of cannellini beans, and I drained and rinsed them. Okay? So, but you could do it either way, it's fine. And then here I've got about 1 cup of small shell soup pasta. Okay, so we've got that, and we're going to add that in last. And then here we've got some fresh grated Parmesan Romano cheese. So I like the Parmesan Romano combination, but it doesn't have to be that. You can use Pecorino, you can use Parmesan alone, you can use Asiago, whatever, you know, your taste buds want, you use that. So we have that. Then you're going to need some olive oil, and I'm not going to tell you how much, just olive oil in general. I'll show you how much we're going to use. And then here I've prepared about 8 cups of chicken stock. Okay, you can prepare it yourself, or you can buy the chicken stock of your choice. So I like to use the kind that I make at home. So here we have 8 cups of fresh chicken stock. And then last but not least, I've chopped up some fresh kale. And I advise you guys, just because I like things fresh and kind of organic, I always buy my kale in bunches. I don't like to buy the packaged kale. I know it seems fresh and it's prepared and it says it's been washed, but there's nothing like chopping your own veggies and everything. So I went ahead and bought the bunch and chopped it up myself. So we're going to add this again, probably with the pasta. And so I'm not going to put that there yet. What we're going to do is I'm going to take you to the stove and we're going to start putting this all in a pot so we can have some good soup for lunch today. Alrighty, so we've got our ingredients here. What I'm going to do first is I'm going to turn on my burner here, just medium heat, and I'm going to just get this, coat my bottom of my pot here with olive oil, okay? I'm going to let that heat up a second, and as we're letting it heat up, I'm going to go ahead, we want to get our diced onions and garlic. Put that in there. Matter of fact, we're going to put the carrots, the parsley, all of that in here, and we're going to let the onions and the garlic get a little translucent here. When they're translucent, then we kind of know that the onions and the garlic have been cooked, and you'll be able to smell that beautiful aroma of all of these great ingredients together. Look at that beautiful color. So you can use, you know, I used 3 or 4 carrots and I cut them up. But you know, if you're more of a carrot person, you can go ahead and put more carrots in there if you like. It's really entirely up to you. So it's really up to you. So just make sure you blend everything together here, mix it up, stir it. I think you can hear it sizzling here for a quick second. And this just kind of, by doing this first, it kind of opens up the onions and the garlic, the aroma. It's all good. I'm going to add some salt and pepper. Okay. Just look how beautiful that is. All the colors together, the orange, the white, the green. You can really hear that sizzle. I mean, this is really a base for a lot of different soups you can do. It just doesn't have to be the cannellini and kale. I mean, I use this base here for soups like, you know, the pasta fagioli, or a vegetable soup, or even a beef soup, you know, where you have, or a steak soup. So, it's used for many things. I even use this base for my dressing at Thanksgiving. So, except I use butter, not olive oil. But anyway, that's a whole nother recipe and a whole nother segment, right? Okay. You can really smell it now. It smells wonderful. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put our 8 cups of our chicken stock in there. Okay. Put our chicken stock, and what we're going to do next is we're going to let this all come to a boil. I'm going to add my beans to it. And once this comes to a boil, we're going to add the small shell pasta, and then we're going to add our kale last, okay? And then so we're going to let this simmer. You're going to cover it for about 30 minutes, let it simmer, come to a boil, and we'll come back and add our other ingredients. All right, guys, so our soup is boiling. So what we're going to do is add our small shell pasta. All right, and then we're going to add our kale in here. And we're going to put this all in here. We're going to let that pasta cook for about 7 to 10 minutes, and then we will come back and have lunch together. All right, guys, we have our soup here, and it looks wonderful. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put it in the dish, and I'm going to make one for myself and one for my friend who will be joining me. And you know, this is good any time of the year. Okay. And I usually take some bread and I will slice my bread. Any bread will do. This happens to be sourdough. And if you're not wanting the extra carbs, then don't have it with bread. You can just have it like this. If you don't want bread, then have crackers. So then we top it with our cheese, our grated cheese. All right. So before my friend and I have our soup for lunch, I wanted to leave you with a little bit of food for thought. So I was reading through this book. It's the Notre Dame Book of Prayer. And you know, I didn't read the whole book. I was just skimming through it because it's a book full of prayers actually, for different times in our lives or for different days. And I found one in particularly. It says the prayer for spring. So I'm going to leave you with this note. Lord of the springtime, Father of flower, field, and fruit, smile on us in these earnest days when the work is heavy and the toil wearisome. Lift up our hearts, O God, to the things worthwhile. Sunshine and night, the dripping rain, the song of the birds, books and music in the voices of our friends. Lift our hearts to these this night and day, and grant us thy peace. That was written by W.E.B. Du Bois. So I leave you with that today, that you may have a wonderful springtime this May, and have a wonderful time eating your soup. I think I'm going to go ahead and have some of this soup here. It just smells wonderful. Kind of mix it all in here. Let's see, it's pretty hot. So let's try it. Buonissimo. Buonissimo. I encourage you to make this today. Okay, guys, have a great day. Be blessed. We'll see you next time.